Hey YouTube, let's talk about Satan, who it seems I look a little bit like right now. What I find so interesting about Satan is the fact that it's religion's attempt to have it both ways, to create a villain in the religion and add a sense of conflict, but also tells you, well, don't worry, because God's more important. So, for instance, it's like when they were writing the religion, they decided, hey, we need a villain here. We need an anti-God. And this thing will be responsible for all the bad things that happen. When people go to hell, it's not God's fault, it's Satan's fault. Satan is the answer to the problem of evil. Well, the problem with creating a villain is they soon realized it's going to make people go, well, how do we know God is the more powerful? How do we know God is right? Maybe we should ally ourselves with Satan. So they then add this thing in Revelation about how, well, don't worry, God is actually the more powerful, and God is going to win. So there's conflict, but there isn't really conflict. See, even though Satan's doing his thing, it's still going according to God's will. So this creates the whole problem of what exactly is God and Satan's relationship to one another. Because even when I was a kid, even when I was a Christian, that was something that I didn't get. I used to wonder, well, if Satan is God's enemy, why is he helping God? Why is he punishing the people who disobey God? He's basically working for the same cause. And furthermore, it's... if God is more powerful, he's allowing this to happen. He's kind of okay with the system of, well, I reward the good, you punish the bad. This is why, in the end, it is God who sends people to hell. Even though Christians will say, oh, no, it's Satan, or man's doing it to himself. No. Satan may be the hangman, but it's God's system. God is okay with it. Ultimately, God is the judge. God is sending people to hell. The conclusion one ultimately reaches is that God and Satan are just really one-dimensional characters. God is just always good, always all-knowing, always in the right. We know that it doesn't work that way. In general, human beings, sentient beings, whatever God qualifies as, that tends not to be the case. Things tend to be more complex. Likewise, Satan is just always evil. If you actually analyze Satan, it's pretty stupid for him to do what he's doing. Surely, if we silly humans have heard, according to Revelation, that God's going to win, I would think Satan would have heard that by now and gone, oh, gee, not really any point in doing what I'm doing, because when the end of the world comes, God's going to win. Yeah, sucks to be me. In the end, because God and Satan are so one-dimensional, you eventually come to realize that the whole thing is just one big game of good cop, bad cop. It occurred to me, if you don't know, good cop, bad cop is an interrogation technique that cops use, where two cops will interrogate a guy at the same time. One of them, the bad cop, will be an asshole, basically, threaten the guy, be really mean to him, while the other one pretends to be really nice and be his friend, and the result makes the criminal trust the good cop, or think of the good cop as his friend, and so he'll confess to him as protection from the bad cop. God and Satan, they may seem to be enemies, but they're playing the same game. Now, God may be the good cop and be nice to you, and Satan may be the bad cop, but both of them are trying to manipulate you to do things that God wants you to do. Well, actually, no, things that the church wants you to do. So, I repeat, God and Satan, one big game of good cop, bad cop.